Great. Good evening, all, for joining today's nice session on a Sunday evening. A pleasure to be with you again, once again this evening. We are going to talk about a very simple yet very complex topic, and that's about life. What we mean by life, how we should be managing the life so that we are successful in most of the things that we do. And I have some thoughts. I'm sure that you will all be able to contribute to it and make more out of that when we go in the discussion now. So, with respect to the specific topic which we are going to talk now is about life success through a new mantra, a mantra which I think we can all apply and we can get the benefit out of that.
I think other people can mute their mic.
Yes, please. That would be helpful. Thank you. Right. So, life success with a new mantra is what we are going to talk over the next 30 odd minutes. Rinaji, if you can mute your mic, please. Yeah, thank you. So, let's talk about life. And the first question that comes to us is what is life? Any thoughts? I mean, just unmute yourself and start sharing. What is the meaning of life? What do you think is a life? Anyone?
Sequence of different phases as a male or female. Everybody has a duty of every one decade, and we grow from being a son to a brother, and then a husband, and then to a father, and so on.
Okay, right. Excellent. Good definition. Anyone else? Deepika ji, what is the life?
Life is a journey for a human being in specific here because we are joining this session. So life is a journey for human beings to learn, grow, explore, and enjoy the small things which it has to offer for us. That's what life is for me.
Oh, right, perfect. So, I mean, the exact word which you are just now making it, and Raj also said, and the last word you said, this is what life is for me. And that is what, the beautiful meaning of life comes because it is something which is subjective and it is personal to individual. I mean, there is no common definition of what is life. I was doing some research for this session today, and the biology defines life somewhere, but that's not what we are looking for here today. We're looking for a meaning of life and the way we are living as a human being in different phases of life, as Raj said, and it is different for different people. It's subjective, it's personal, and it's for individuals liking how they think the life is or how it should be. But there is one thing which is common, and the statement, the mantra which we are going to work on today is that, in my understanding, we say life is a project. Life is a project, and that's what we are going to look at it. Whether if we take it this way and if we try to apply some principles of project management, can we make our life better? So your points of views in between would be useful, and it will be appreciated as well. Right. Uh, Now, when we said that life is a project, let's understand or try to understand what is a project. I mean, nowadays, project is becoming a very simple subject right from the school, kindergarten onwards. People talk about school ka project hai, nursery mein bhi project hai, and then parents actually are the ones who keep on doing the projects, running around and submitting whatever is required for the child in the school. But if you look at everything and anything around us, we can define everything, most of the things as a project. A project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product or service or a result, and that is a definition, official definition given by PMBOK. And PMBOK stands for Project Management Board of Knowledge, an international topmost body which is working on the project management for the last couple of decades with all experts over there, and they define it as a temporary endeavor which is which is done to create a unique product or a service or a result. And let us talk about how we correlate the life with the project. So here the word comes is a temporary, which is important for all of us to understand. Life is temporary, and we all understand that. I mean, our Hindu beliefs also say that janma, punarjanma, and even Western countries and science also says that life is temporary. It starts with the birth and ends with death. Whatever in between is life, and that is what we call it temporary. And it is being done when you say endeavor. Endeavor means efforts are being done during those period of time to create some value, some product or service in this case. But for us, that is what we are meaning is that our purpose of life, what we are trying to do, what we are trying to achieve for self, for others around us, our family, children, and maybe society. So that's what we will say as our efforts over the period of time during between the birth and death, and that's where we say it's a kind of a project. And also the same definition of project says that a project could be an independent standalone small project, or it could be a part of a larger program or a larger portfolio where small projects kind of interconnected, not exactly sequential, but when they all put together they can become a bigger value. So if you look at our today's life, what we talk about is that, as Raj was also saying, there are different phases of life, and there are different small projects that which we are running. We are playing the role of a husband or a father or a daughter or a daughter-in-law, etc. in our family. We are running around with our children. We are also doing our normal life earnings, whatever we do, career, business, job, whatever. And apart from that, we also still have some dreams, some hobbies. So all these are small projects. All put together is like a life program, and that's what we call life. So this is a relation between a project and a life, trying to just establish here. And as you see on the picture, the project basically, as per this definition, comprises of 5 steps, 5 phases. Basically, initiation or planning. Then comes the launching or execution. Then comes the monitoring of the performance and controlling. And the last stage is that of the project closure. And if you look at our life, we also have the similar kind of phases, and different projects could be in the different phases itself. For example, people who have grown up like 50s and 55s, their children probably have completed their graduation and they have moved on to the different phase of life. So that project for them is kind of done. But still, they are most importantly planning as of now for retirement, taking care of next 25 years of health and financials. So it's in the that particular project is maybe in the most important execution phase, is monitoring and controlling like this. So different projects could also be in the different phases running parallelly with each other, and that is the beauty of life. Otherwise, it would be a complete monotony. When we're talking about project, slight understanding which we need to move from the typical routine activities, or in the industrial language it is called production. Production means a typical machine, typical input, typical output. दिन में 500 पीस निकाला, 5000 पीस निकाला. That is the production. Routine things. No things are changed. Specifications are same. Everything is same. Input is same. Output is same. If you compare that with our life, it's a routine that we do. Get up in the morning, brush up, get ready, go to the office, 9 to 7, whatever, 9 to 5, traffic in between, come back. That's like a routine production. But when we're talking about project in our life, the kind of things which we take up, for example, someone is trying to develop a hobby, or somebody is trying to complete a course, somebody is trying to qualify or certify yourself, somebody is trying to get a promotion, somebody is making the renovation of his home, somebody is getting into the society, trying to get more recognition. People should recognize. 50 लोग मुझे पूछते हैं, हाँ साहब सलाम मारते हैं. So all are different projects, and this is something which is unique. So when you say it's a unique, the definition word unique comes here because it is specific, individual, at that point in time is defining that. And it is not routine. Routine is something like, as I said, going to office every day, coming back same route, same रास्ते से जाएंगे, same 9:24 की लोकल पकड़ के गए, शाम को 6:52 की लोकल पकड़ के वापस आ गए. That is a routine, and we are not talking about that. That is a very important part of the project, of the life. Yes, but that's something which we need to do as an unavoidable thing. We still have to do that, but our focus has to be on the bigger things. And that's when we do that, that's what we are going to get our life's meaning, life's happiness. So that's the whole idea of connecting the project as a life. Now, when we talk about the project, there are certain physics and there are certain typical big words which we try to correlate with the life. And the first, the most there is the project plan. A project plan basically, consists of the biggest thing, the objective. What is the purpose? Why I am doing this project? What is it that I'm going to achieve at the end of the project? There's a defined start. This is the time when I'm going to start. This is a defined end. When I have finished this activity and I got this result, it's the end of the project. It could be time bound, but time could also be flexible. Just in case if you require to modify a little bit here or there. The idea is that when we say the project is ended, not on the date, but on the day when you are actually getting the result, the objective which you set out for. So this is basically the plan. And then when you talk about the project as a big activity, break it down into smaller tasks and further into micro level activities. So this is how the project plan is created. Just take an example. I want to, for example, go and drive to Kashmir from Mumbai. Okay, I will make a plan. I know typically it will take about 25 days for me to drive. I will be driving so many kilometers, 200 to 50 kilometers in a day. I have two drivers with me, so myself and my partner will be driving that. But then I will be breaking it down into smaller tasks. So I say, okay, I start day one, I reach up to Baroda or Ahmedabad. Then from there, I'll go up to Jaipur. I'll cross Jaipur. I will reach another place. This is the way we will be planning. So breaking it out into smaller tasks. And then from there, further micro level. Okay. So once I start from the airport, for example, and in about 45 minutes, I should cross the Dahisar check Naka. Another 2 hours, I'll be reaching Wapi. This is micro level activities. Similarly, when we do it in the life, when we're talking about bigger things, we can do this. And some of you must be doing also. And some of you might be saying, no, I have a high level plan. That's enough for me. I mean, it depends on the individual's perceptions, individual's interests, and individual's confidence or overconfidence or lack of confidence, whatever we call it. But this is the way a project plan is done, and life can also be, bigger ask or life can also be planned. The last point is important. There has to be also a plan B. Just in case what we have planned, the ideal plan, if it is not working out, there should be also a plan B to fall back upon. So if I'm going to Kashmir, the same example, via Ahmedabad, Jaipur, Delhi, वो रास्ते से जा रहा हूँ. But there is a problem, there is a strike. Haryana में tractors are there on the road and the road is stopped. Okay, so I have another plan. I will go from Jaipur, I will go towards Agra, and from Agra I will continue towards Delhi. So this is the kind of plan B, and that is something which we should also be carrying with us. Now, when we say objectives and then make a plan, it should be ideally, everybody said it should be excellent. I want to reach there in 2 hours. Okay, very good. It's an excellence. But while the excellence has no limits, resources are limited. So we need to keep that in mind, that when I'm making my objectives, when I'm making my plan, what are my resources? Again, going back to the similar example, for example, let's say I'm going to renovate my house. Okay, I want to make it like a palace or antela created by Ambani. That is my dream. It should be excellent. But do I have those resources? Do I have that much money? Do I have that much space? Do I have that much time that it takes 1 decade to get such thing built? Resources are limited, and we need to keep that in mind. Excellence, of course, is a ideal thing. We must all strive for it. But do we have that much resource is something which we need to keep in mind. And of course, you can do a work with available resources, and then you can improve upon it subsequently. I mean, your life dreams can be even bigger. Once you have achieved this dream, you can become a bigger dream. So you can excel in that particular field. So that definitely is a way forward. But we need to, every phases of life, every goals, every objectives that we take, we need to have our own resources, limitations also in the mind. Another important aspect when we talk about any project is about the risks. Risks management is absolutely essential, and I'm sure all of us do it in our life also. As simple as that. I mean, you start with your own life insurance or medical insurance that you take. So this is on the bigger side. Even when we are going, right from our childhood, we have been told that okay, when you are going to cross the road, look at your right, look at your left, again look at your right, and then you cross the road. So this is the thing. But we know there is a risk. We are identifying the risk, evaluating the risk, and mitigating the risk. As simple as that. When you do the evaluation, you know whether it is high probability, high impact, or it's a medium probability but low impact, things like that. Based on that, you do the planning. Life, we know, cannot be fully planned. Risks cannot always be identified. But that's the case in everything. I mean, for example, today when we are sitting in front of this session, there are many risks. For example, okay, my internet will go off, or electricity goes off, or I mean, extreme. If we talk about, there will be earthquake now. What do we do? So risks are also unlimited, but one need to be, very cautious to understand what is the probability, how likely it is going to happen, and what will be the impact of this. Let's take an example. I mean, somebody, take, I mean, all of us, fly for our work or pleasure, take a aircraft, go from Mumbai to Delhi, for example. There's a risk involved. What are the risks? Okay, what happens if there's a oxygen failure? Okay, they announce that a mask will fall down. You put it on your nose, and it will start breathing. But that is only for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, your mask will automatically go away. And then what do? So will you take your own oxygen bottle with you? No, it's a risk, but you accept that. You will move with that as an option. Similarly, we need to be very specific about what kind of risk we are taking in the life and how we are going to mitigate that as well. So that is essential as well for us to move on when we're talking about project and life. The most important thing, stakeholder management. And stakeholder here in our life when we talk about is anything and everybody we are dealing with. It's our own family, children, parents, spouse, our boss, our society, where we are living, the building, our friend circle, extended networks like this. Anything and everything that we are dealing with are all our stakeholders. So we need to take care of those, especially ones who are, directly associated with the kind of project which we are talking about, the phase in which we are today here. So we need to understand the needs, and needs are both explicit as well as implicit needs. Implicit needs, as you understand, are something which are not spoken, which are not explicitly spelled out, but it's a hidden need. Sometimes, रास्ते पे traffic हवालदार stops you, sir, signal cut किया. Now you also know signal is not broken. He also knows that, but his needs are totally different. He wants some kind of money to settle your case, and sometimes you do it. So understand the need, explicit needs as well as implicit needs of all those who are around you, or for all those who get affected by your actions, by your inactions also. Those need to be understood and taken care of. Now, having understood the needs, there could be a possibility that you are assuming these are the needs. So we need to validate those needs or confirm it from them. This is what I am doing. This is what my plan is. This is what I'm going to achieve in so much time. This is going to help you in this way. Is this okay? Let's take an example. A husband goes to office every day, he works, he does the overtime, comes back with some extra money, keeps it in the bank, makes a fixed deposit, keeps on doing it for 10 years. Money is growing sizable amount and all these things. And he says, okay, one fine day I'll go and buy a necklace for my wife. But the wife says, sorry, I don't need this necklace. I wanted your time. In last 10 years, you have not spent 10 minutes with me. So the needs that you perceived are not in line with the needs which your wife has. So the idea is that we must validate those needs and confirm that, have an agreement, so that once you are working towards a project, towards a life, something that we are working on passionately is actually in line with expectations or requirements. That's the whole idea of validating those needs. We also need to set the expectations of all around us. I mean, as I said again, everybody wants a palace, but palace is not possible because of your resources. So you will say, okay, palace is not possible, we can have a 3 BHK. Okay, 3 BHK, not on a pedal road, but somewhere in Washi. So setting expectations are very, very essential, because ultimately it's for all of us to enjoy and appreciate what we will get. Otherwise, we will land up, after having done a lot of efforts, achieved what we thought is the right thing, and this is, sorry, this is, I never expected, I thought this is that. So let's have that expectations also set, so that people also understand that, okay, you are also human being, you also have your limitations, you are also having your own priorities and your own interests, your own hobbies. So everything is settled and expectations are set. The most important thing is, when we are doing the stakeholders management, very, 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 very important is to be clear what to ignore. मैं ये कपड़ा पहन के जाऊंगा तो बाजू वाला क्या सोचेगा? I mean, does it really matter to you? Should you really be thinking about it, or just ignore it? What is not important for you, just ignore that. And if you have that clarity, 50% of your problems in the life are gone. You just have to deal with the remaining 50%. As simple as that. I hope that makes some sense. Then moving around as a project, when we move around, we of course do evaluation over the period of time, because we are in the execution phase. We have made some plans, whether it is moving towards that or no. That is very simple, like even if you are driving to a new place, you will keep checking your Google map. Are you on the right direction? How much distance have you covered? Is it still showing the same time to reach the location where you started from? Or even if you are sitting in a Ola or Uber, you will still keep on monitoring, okay, the driver is not cheating you, is not taking you on a different route. As simple as that. So you keep monitoring and keep comparing it with what you started with. What were your objectives? What were your timelines? Are you in line with that? Okay, it's possible that the timelines may be slightly not in exactly the way you wanted. You are probably ahead of a schedule, or maybe you are lacking from the schedule, but still, is it in the right direction? And most important thing is that if it is not, and you think it is not going to work out after the adjustments in navigation, if you need to do some small minor adjustments, if it's still not going to help, should you start thinking about implementing the plan B that you started with? Is that essential? वो जरूरी है क्या? Plan B is essential for you to start, or you can still wait and continue with your own navigation. So same thing in the life. People start, for example, I want to do IIT. Very good. People start from 8th standard, 9th standard, this classes, that classes, this quiz, that competitive examination, and then 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, they are thinking, yeah, this to ho nahi raha hai. It's not working out for me. So that you will know only when you see monitoring your results. How are others, in your same page group who started with you, how they faring? Are you reaching some levels, or you need to put plan B into action? Okay, forget IIT. I'm going to go for CET. I'll go to a local college, or I'll go to engineering, or all that matter completely. No, engineering is not my cup of tea. I'm going to go into commerce, or I'm going to do music, or I'm going to become a chef. So this is basically, the life planning, evaluating, and then optimizing, taking right corrective actions, or completely changing to a plan B. As simple as that. Another most important aspect in the whole life is about communication. Communication with your stakeholders, with whom you are dealing daily, and apart from that, communication with your own self, your inner self. How am I doing in my life? Is it in line with what I thought? Is it in line with what I like? Is it in line with what I want to? This is very, very essential. Unless there is a communication, there will be misunderstandings, lack of trusts, and then probably a lack of direction. You are keep on moving in a direction and others are in somewhere else. So let's keep on doing that communication, and the communication has to be complete, crisp and clear, and continuous. I mean, we can't say, okay, I made a plan, I shared the plan to you on day one, and after 1.5 years, 2 years, I'll say, okay, we are going to do something about it. I mean, that probably is not going to help. So continuous communication, including with your stakeholders, your family members. If you have set up for a plan, for example, you said, okay, in 1 year's time, we are going to go to Europe for the Europe trip. Fine. Just keep communicating with your family that, okay, I have done research on Eastern Europe. I have found that about 10 days is okay. After 15, 20 days, you will say, okay, I done some more research. I found that this kind of hotels or this kind of sightseeings are good. So keep communicating with your family. That is a project that you are talking about. I'm just giving an example. That Europe trip. That keep communicating to say, okay, I'm seeing the monitoring the price. The price of the flights are in the range of so and so. We will look for a particular budget. If it fits, we will immediately book the tickets. So those kind of communication essential for success of the project that you are working on. And most important thing, celebrate. In life, one must celebrate as frequently as feasible and possible. Celebrate what? Success, of course, major success with a grand celebration, minor success with little celebration. Just take a ice cream. Say, okay, this is what I thought I will be doing today. I have finished my 10,000 steps walking every day. Very nice. For one full week, I have done that. Okay, let's have a ice cream. I mean, this is what we're talking about life. Major success. Okay, I wanted to complete my this much course or certification. I have done that. Or I wanted to get my promotion. 3 years is my target. Today I have done my promotion. My boss has said, yes, you are promoted to next level, senior GM, whatever. Major celebration, major success. So apart from that, success is what is also essential for us to celebrate is the near misses. You know what is the meaning of near misses? Something which you just missed by a whisker. It could be a success which was almost up to here, but it was lost. Okay, that could be one option. Or some accident or some risk which was almost about to happen to you, but it got left out. You are still safe. You missed that havoc that could have happened because of that accident or because of the risk which you thought of probably could happen. So even if that is missed out and you are safe, or you have almost reached the goal, but it was slightly, given away. Your promotion was almost done. You were neck to neck with your colleague, and yeah, your colleague has got it, but you got a recognition. Everybody said that no, Mr. XYZ did very good, but finally, because we had to promote only one, it was Mr. ABC. Fine. So XYZ also got a recognition. It's a near miss. Celebrate. Celebration makes life better. It gives our more commitment to the thing which we are planning, to the things which we are moving on, and it helps us, to get more confidence. Yes, we are worth it, and we are doing it. The most last part of the whole activity is, in the life project is lessons learned. Lessons learned could be both positives as well as negatives. Positive, of course, we must recognize just so that we can replicate it, we can make better use of that, we can enhance it, we can make it larger, maximize it. Something which is working for good for you, for example, when you did a good planning for a vacation, tuck, 5, 6 things. Yes, this is successful because of that. Your vacation was very smooth. Okay, I use the same techniques for the next vacation. That is how we say positive. Or some kind of project activity which you do it because of which you got a promotion. Yes, I would like to do the same thing again. Negatives also could be a very big teacher for us. Something which did not work out, something which failed, something did not meet the expectations. Yes, recognize it as a lesson and ensure that we don't repeat it next time. Avoid it. Optimize out of this. For example, okay, I did my renovation of the home which I started. I had an initial budget of 5 lakhs. It became 7 lakhs. Okay, it worked out, but I still spent 2 lakh more. Understand where it was, whether it was my wrong selection of the items or the wrong selection of the shop where they are selling this item at 100 rupees, which I could got in 90 rupees somewhere else, and try to avoid that. Optimize the budget when you're doing the next time. And the most important thing why we should do these lessons learned is to spread the knowledge for everyone around us, for the society, betterment of the whole humanities. Because if I made some mistake, let others should not make it. Or if I succeeded by using XYZ formula, let others also do it. He did not invent an XYZ formula again. So that's the whole idea of sharing those lessons. And it's Albert Einstein which says that the only mistake in my life or anybody can do is that lessons are not learned and we keep on repeating the same error. Albert Einstein says that, and that's the importance of lessons learned. So we have looked at major aspects of a project management. Okay, project management by subject itself is a big subject, and we are not going into those things because that's not our objective. Our objective is that can we apply some of the principles of project management in our life to make it more successful, more happier for us and those who are around us, our loved and dear ones. So when we look at that aspect, which we talked over in last 20 minutes, can we say life is a project? Anyone comments? Yes, no, disagree, maybe later. Please unmute your
Yes.
mic and say.
Yeah, I
Yes.
feel life is a project.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Life
But-
is a project. Life is divided into many different projects. They can be
Perfect.
small, they can be big, they can be medium sized.
Yes. Interesting. Anyone else?
For me, if you ask, the answer would be no, because when you say project, I remember my boss and project code, which I would not remember on a weekend. For me,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Excellent. Right. So, we have different definitions, as we said, and different perceptions. Probably for you, because your project manager was slightly different. For us, it could be slightly different for somebody else. He will say, I completely disagree. Life is that not at all project. Maybe. But yeah, overall period of time, we can say that life can be managed as a project. But again, as you rightly said, there are something which are more than project in the life, because life consists of a little bit more than a project, because here we are going to deal with humans. We're talking about life, our family, our bosses, our padosi, our kamwali bai, maid, anybody and everybody is a human being, and humans have emotions, feelings. And that's the most difficult part of this. So while we say life is a project, well, maybe 80%, 85% of this can be managed completely using the project management principle, but we need to know that life is little more than project. Humans are involved and humans are not resources. We started with saying that, okay, resources are limited, we must use it. But if we start using humans as resources, even a family member or, our driver, or for that matter, anyone, my LinkedIn contact, I use him as a resource to get a connection to somebody else. That's not going to work in the long term. So sometimes you don't want to, win an argument or a project or achieve an objective by hurting them long term. It could be really a disaster. The life can be a hell if you made some fatal mistake like this. So sometimes it is better to lose that particular day, that particular objective that we wanted to do. Losers may be actual winners. जैसा शाहरुख खान कहता है, हार के जीतने वाले को बाजीगर कहते हैं. So that could be the reality, especially when you are dealing with your own family. You'll say, okay, fine, let's not do it. Let's not continue the argument. I accept. I'm sorry. Move on. And that can happen with many other, such circumstances in the life. Because life, again, I said, we are dealing with humans who have feelings, emotions. And one major factor which is in the life, probably not so much in the project, is that the power of universe. God, Allah, Bhagwan, jo bhi aap kaho, luck, all that matter. There is an invisible power, and that has a big influence on our lives. So that factor, of course, can come in any place in time. It could be for good, it could be for bad, maybe temporarily bad, but in long term good. So these are certain aspects, which will be different. So life cannot be exactly defined as a project. It cannot be fully managed as a project. But using those principles, maybe we can, even if we take care of 80% of our things using the project management principles, life could be much better. 80% if taken care of, I think then we just have to take care of remaining 20%, and that time your power of universe will help you. Right. Time for questions. And when we say before that, this is the last point which we remember, end of project is not end of life. Move on to a new project. So in your life, as you said, as Rina said, there could be multiple small projects, multiple projects. One phase is over, one activities are done. For example, your children have now graduated, post-graduated, put on a job, fine. So that project is kind of an over, but you are not completely cutting off. You are taking more time now in developing your own hobbies, or developing something for the society, doing some kind of philanthropy work. So life moves on. You take up a new project, and that's what a life is. Questions, doubts?
Yeah. Can I take it?
Yes, please. All yours.
Yeah. Yes, Jenny, it was wonderful to listen about, the analogy between a life and the project. And as you rightly said, what I believe that in today's time, when whatever efforts you put, every input is expected to have a desired outcome or an output. So I strongly believe that if we consider life as a project, we are going to take it little more seriously towards whatever efforts we put in our daily life. May it be about our priorities, may it be about our desires or anything. So it's very important when I see the current generation, when we talk about Gen Z and all. So if it is considered as a project, it better gets into some kind of a direction. So of course, I am for that life should be taken as a project. But as we all know, that life is not about how many breaths we take, but it's about the moments which takes our breath away. So life is a beautiful element which is from our first breath to our last breath, and there it is full of uncertainties, volatility, and when we, in some cases, in most of the cases, when we don't take it as a project, which is quite a mechanical approach towards life, we can make it beautiful, we can live it fully. So the balancing of a project, and as Deepika said, that weekend पे वो project management को थोड़ा side में रख दूसरे पे काम किया जाए. So I think the balance which would be created would be a wonderful thing, and we would be all living our life fully. That's what I just wanted to share. Yep.
Right. Thanks, Sanjay. Thanks for your views. I think you are right on the track. And yes, so life, again, we started with, what is life different for different individuals. So there are some people, who say, what planning? Hey, क्या होता है वो? I don't know. I mean, happy go lucky. Well, that's his look to the life. I mean, it's not right or wrong. We are not talking about right or wrong. but this is one approach, this is one method, one tool, which probably can be applied, and it could be useful. So yes, life anyways goes on without that as well.
As they
Right,
say,
thank
no,
you.
Jayesh,
Yes.
as it is said that life is to live. So let the days come. As the day
Right.
comes, live the day.
Oh yes, that can be an approach, of course.
Again, no planning, no methodizing, no strategizing is required.
आज
Goes
का
and live the life.
आज का जेडी का ये सेशन था, तो ये इसको प्रोजेक्ट समझ के हम लोग 3 दिन से तो प्लानिंग कर रहे हैं उसके ऊपर में, इतने रिमाइंडर्स दे रहे हैं. So when we did it, in spite of being on our hardcore Sunday evening, where anything can happen in Mumbai, anything can happen. तो भी यार जेडी का ये माने एक प्रेजेंटेशन या एक सेशन सुनने के लिए आए हैं. So of course it has got something to do with what JD said, that we went with the project management of today's session. So there is a part of it, though being a
Thank
weekend,
you.
of course.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your comment.
Jayesh, a totally new perspective towards life.
Yes.
The project word which you have used is generally tagged with a very formal type of system, and which we never like to be associated with life, because हम लाइफ का दो भाग रखते हैं. एक फॉर्मल वाला जो कॉर्पोरेट पे रहता है, जो प्रोजेक्ट वर्क कैसे करते हैं, और दूसरा लाइफ जो हमारे हिसाब से चले. बट इस मतलब वट एवर यू सेड इज एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. इट्स अ न्यू पर्सपेक्टिव टू लुक टुवर्ड्स लाइफ, कि लाइफ में प्लान करके भी चीजें कर सकते हैं. जनरली लोग कर नहीं पाते, या होता नहीं है, या जो हम प्लान करते हैं वैसा होता नहीं, होता कुछ और है. बट एटलीस्ट वी
एफर्ट्स तो
कैन,
कर सकते हैं.
हाँ, वी
एफर्ट्स तो
कैन
कर ही
मेक
सकते
द
हैं.
एफर्ट. बिकॉज आज की डेट में
करेक्ट.
देखो ना, देयर आर पीपल आर शिफ्टिंग टुवर्ड्स प्लान्ड करियर में. आप देखो तो द काइंड, जिस तरह से हम अपने बच्चों को पढ़ा रहे हैं, we are trying to plan out everything, and most of the people are successful also. Not everybody,
Yes.
but at least आज की डेट में planning in life बहुत ज़्यादा दिख रही है. So we are moving towards that, and so good to have that perspective. Last में you said no, this is not getting over. You're saying move towards a new life. तो new life I didn't understood. नया ऊपर जाके फिर यार new project in the life.
So new project in the life is what we meant by, but I mean, if you again connect it with philosophically, our people say, I mean, our ancestors have said that you are here only as one of the 84 लाख फेलों में से एक बार आए हो आप, करोगे अगले जन्म में, अगली कुंडली में अगर जन्म में करना है. So I mean, that can also be extended to that extent. So this is your life itself is a temporary period for your atma. But anyway, we are not getting into those philosophical things at this time. Let's talk about the life which we have between birth and death, or rather than between birth भी नहीं, जब से समझ में आई, अक्ल में आई, तब से लेके डेथ तक. Let's manage that kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's a new meaning. Yeah. Thanks, it was great.
Okay, right. Thank you all. If you don't have any much point, yeah, Deepika, you have something to say, yes?
Yeah. So thank you, Jayesh. You summed up the whole thing about life in a very unique way, I would say. And trust me to look at this topic in a very optimistic way. I was imagining Jayesh standing on a podium and with the head mics on, and the like stadium is kind of full of counts of people, and people are cheering back. And next day जब office जाते हैं तो boss बोलता है आज से ये project पे लगा रहे हैं. हाँ लगाओ सर, life ही तो है, करेंगे.
Yeah.
So
Very nice.
on a good note, अगर आप जैसे हाँ जनरली जैसे ऑफिस के टेंशन और प्रोजेक्ट वगैरह काम है, स्ट्रेस है, अगर आप उसको लाइफ के साथ सिंक करके मतलब आई वुड से एक इजी वे में अगर टेक लेते हैं तो इट वुड गो. यस, वी कैन फाइंड सिमिलैरिटीज बिटवीन द टू, बट यस, the only difference is in a project on a professional way, boss is someone we need to report to, but in life we are the only boss of ours. So so that's the only thing. And thank you, and you made at least me remember my some of the past days of my life, school days, ये वो आपने 12th के बाद career and वो सारा कुछ बताया, तो I went back to those days. So it was nice, a quick recap of our life. At least this session made me go through that, and overall it was nice. And I really look forward to hear something that is connecting such sessions on wood, standing alone, the is like clapping full on, and it's like something new.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
really,
Thank you,
really,
Deepika.
really nice and unique topic which you got it up. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jayesh.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Deepika.
Thank you, Jayeshji.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, so I think as per me, life is always a project, but in philosophical way, generally we have been taught that life should be lived with awareness. And awareness is what? Making plans, understanding each moment and of your success and failures and keep moving. So I think this is a project. Okay, fail हो गए, कोई बात नहीं है. वो आपके
Try again
try again
or
and
move on to
ये
another
नहीं है कि
project.
हर प्रोजेक्ट में आप सक्सेसफुल होने ही वाले हैं.
Absolutely.
जितनी भी आप
Absolutely.
साइंस की बात कर लें, वहां पे प्रोबेबिलिटी की बात होती ही है कि हो जाओगे फेल एक बार, फिर सारा डेटा देखो आप कहाँ क्यों फेल हुए. सो लाइफ भी वही है, फेल हो गए, देख लो, सीख लो और आगे बढ़ो. सो आई
Right.
थिंक and there's a bigger project manager up there. He has master project. Under that project, we are working in a small project. And one day we will
Absolutely.
finish this project and go there and see, okay, what is happening in bigger project. Okay, where we want to fit again. So thank you very
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Nilam. So, Deepika, that answers your question. Our life, we still report to somebody who's sitting up there. Yeah. Okay. Right. I think then let's put an end to this. Thank you very much for
In
your
short,
listening.
life is still beautiful.
Yes.
Indeed. Yes. Indeed.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as we said, I mean, we did not look at life only through this prism or this lens. Okay, it's everything I'm doing is a project management. No, I mean, but this could probably be a larger thing which can take care of, and otherwise, life will also become monotonous. So the beauty of life is remaining in the uncertainty, unplanned things, and that, of course, also becomes a challenge for some of us to tackle those. As Nilamji said, may succeed, may not succeed, but yeah, that's life.
Anybody has seen that movie? Of course, I think most of us. Life is beautiful.
Well, I
Yes.
have not.
Okay. Acha. So this particular movie is so much relating to what you said, JD, today. The
Mhm.
entire movie is, of course, with an unpredictable circumstances, but the main actor in the movie, he is taking it absolutely as a project step by step. It's a beautiful movie. It's an epic. I would say epic. Very one of the top 3, 5 movies if I would consider in my life.
Mhm.
It's an English movie, and I think I would suggest everybody to watch it. Must be a 2 hours movie, but it's a beautiful movie. A father, mother, and a son, and it's
Mhm.
all about the challenges they face and how it is turned into a project so that his son would understand it very nicely. It's a beautiful movie. It's a
Sanjay, you got muted.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Sorry.
if somebody has not seen, then I think it's worth watching that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good input. I will do that
Life is beautiful,
soonest.
and of course it goes
Soonest.
very well with your subject. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Just one thing. I have a colleague, I would say, the very senior most colleague, 88 years old he is. I met him in a college where I used to teach. So whenever he always used to say that never greet people with say good morning, good night. I'll always say that life is beautiful. It automatically starts rewiring your brain, and the moment the other person also listens about it, it clicks to their mind also that life is beautiful despite of whatever is going. So whenever we meet each other, it's never that I say him good morning sir. I always say life is beautiful, and he also replies the same, and he sees to it that everybody does the same, and it has made a really good impact when we say this to ourselves and to the person who is hearing it. तो ये भी एक छोटी सी चीज है, but this really is very worth to do so.
Yes. Definitely. Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
sir.
all.
Yeah.
चलिए